Hey everyone, and welcome to Blacked Out, the unofficial post-game show hosted by Birds on the Black. We finally had our first playoff game. A little bit long day waiting up for it. Long game, took about 4 hours. Cardinals win. Final score 7-4. Take a 1-0 series lead against the Padres, with a chance to take the series tomorrow. We'll see Wainwright on the bump. Flaherty is guaranteed a postseason game now, and at least for the next 20 hours or so, all is well in our little baseball world. Cardinals won just how we all thought they would. So came out firing in the first inning. Got, 4 runs, I think, in the first, the Goldie home run. Carlson had a double. Molina came through. DeYoung came through. A lot of Matt Carpenter capped it off with a sac fly. Kim struggled through. I think he got through 3 2/3. The defense struggled at times. So this wasn't really the typical Cardinals game that we were accustomed to seeing in 2020 and really even back to last year. The defense and pitching normally win their games. Today was the offense. We haven't been able to say that a lot. The Cardinals offense for a lot of the year's been struggling. Part of that is probably that they've been playing a ton of games. They finally got some rest. They came out firing. It was good to see they didn't just score in one inning. They built on it a few times. They got the insurance run at the end of the game. That was great to see. Kim, 3 2/3. A lot of credit to the bullpen today. Big time, big boy stuff from Gallegos, from Reyes getting out of jams. Got Tatis Jr., who might win the MVP twice. Got him twice in big situations. That was huge. On offense, Carlson had one of the best games he's had, continuing kind of to build on what his second stint up with the major league team. He was good. He struggled the first time around. He got demoted back to the Springfield complex. They brought him back, and he's been good. He was good in the last couple of weeks of the season. He carried that today. Carried that through today, getting what was he, like 2 for 3 with 2 walks? You take that every time, obviously. Defense struggled. Bader, the first run that the Padres got where he misplayed a ball in center, kind of blamed on the wind. I think he just took a bad route and kind of got crossed over. Wong had a play early and it was hit. It was a missile, but he got a glove on it, and it's a play that sometimes Wong makes. Fowler, the defense picked up later. Fowler made a great play in right field, I think, again, on Tatis Jr., to save at least one run, keep a rally from starting. Honestly, that play in the corner where he made the leaping catch kind of crashing into the wall, that was big time. We get on Fowler a lot for his defense. He's not a good defender, but that was huge. That goes off the wall. Tatis Jr. might score, honestly. It might be an inside the Parker by the time Fowler kind of recovers, gets there. Fowler doesn't have a great arm. Bader, speaking of the defensive play in center, had a terrible game. Made a nice one to end the game. That was good to see him make up for some things there. But 5 strikeouts in a single game. I don't know. I'm not. I don't have like the Baseball Reference play index. There probably hasn't happened a lot, especially in the postseason. It probably hasn't happened a lot. I think we'll probably see him ride the bench in the second game at least. Carlson maybe in center. Edman, some combination between Edman, O'Neill, and who else? Brad Miller could potentially DH with Carpenter at third. I don't know what they're going to do, but Bader looked awful, which sucks because, the defense normally is there. He had a tough game today, but hopefully, he can bounce back if the season extends long enough for him to bounce back. A couple really nice defensive plays in the middle inning. We had Edmund Bearhan played a goalie with a good scoop to get Profar. Goldie had a nice catch, a hot liner from Hosmer, and then a couple of heads-up plays to catch Cronenworth both times, once between second and third, and then once between third and home. Profar ended up, I think, being the one who was called out on the one between third and home, but 2 heads-up plays to kind of get extra outs, I think, where the Padres were starting to build something. So that was good to see as well. Fun stat I saw on Molina. He's played now, I think, in 98 or 99 postseason games. I think the broadcast said it was 75 for Yogi Berra was the next most by a catcher. And then he had played more than the whole Padres team. The whole Padres team together had 73. There are a couple points today where I feel like, we probably all thought the wheels were about to fall off. In the 6th inning, the heads-up play by Fowler to hit Goldschmidt, to cut off man, and for him to pick off Cronenworth kept Padres from putting up a crooked number. A little bit later, big-time strikeout by Gallegos. Carlson made another good diving play in left field. He's the real deal. I doubted it for, he's struggled a lot. It didn't look like he was ready early on, but he looks pretty good defensively. The bats come along. He just, big stage, batting cleanup, and he looked, he looked like one of the Cardinals' best players. That was great to see. Andrew Miller gave us a scare, led off the inning with an 0-2 hit by pitch. That was horrible. It seems like Miller, that slider just like spins on him, and he comes from so far to the side that I guess it's just maybe easier for him when to back up and hit somebody. It seems like he does it all the time. But he was bailed out by another Cronenworth base running mistake where there was that little tapper that Goldschmidt fielded. It would have been a really tough play at first with Miller kind of crossing over. Past Goldschmidt, Wong had no chance. It would have been a weird flip and turn. Cronenworth got too far off the bag, got picked off. Reyes came in to get out of that, and he went stadium gun. So the stadium gun had Reyes on the three pitches to Tatis Jr. at 100, 101, and 101. I think Baseball Savant Feed had a little slower, but it was two of his three hardest two of those three were his two hardest fastballs so far this year. So he was amped up. It was, I think sometimes you worry about a guy like Reyes coming in a big situation. One, he doesn't have great command, but two, is he going to try to beat them with his best, or is he going to try to pitch, catch Tatis Jr. Sorry, one sec. Is he going to try to catch Tatis Jr., with a curveball or something else, try to get him off, the fastball? It's good to see Reyes just come out and say, this is the fastball, try to hit it. This is what I got. It's my best pitch. That was good to see. And then got in a big insurance run off of our old friend, Trevor Rosenthal, in the 9th. Typical Rosie inning, if we remember, as we all fondly remember. So, all in all, good to see, I hope. There, like I said, there were some times where the wheels almost fell off. I think, we could probably, I didn't love the decision to start Kim. It worked out, I guess. But, now that, you got to win, you take it. Not saying any different, but big work from the bullpen today. Wainwright going tomorrow with a chance to clinch. We're guaranteed to see Jack Flaherty this postseason now, which if they, in the hypothetical, if they would have lost 2 games and not done Jack, that would have been tough for me to swallow. I feel like, he had a down year, but he's one of your best pitchers. I think it'll be good to at least, he's either set up, if they can win tomorrow, he's set up to go in game 1 of whatever series is next, the quarterfinals, or I don't know what we're calling these things anymore. And if you can win, he's set up for that. If you lose, then you have him in a winner go home game. And so I think it worked out, kind of the hindsight rule here, but we'll take it. Obviously we'll take it. Definitely was a nerve-wracking game. I have a habit of, I get super, I don't really get amped up. I don't get super emotional. I just get very nervous and anxious for these games. So I was munching on a handful of things throughout to try to eat away the anxiety that the Cardinals were giving me. Didn't work too well, but it good to get through, good to breathe again. Game 2 tomorrow. I think it's also a 4:00 start. So we'll have to deal with the shadows a little bit again. You saw it come into play in this game where in the middle innings it got really tough to hit, and then by the end of the game, the mound, the plate was back in the shadows, and it was a little bit easier for the hitters to pick up the ball. That's something interesting to watch because, obviously it made the Cardinals getting out to a lead while, before the shadows came in, a much bigger deal. And then you had you kind of grind through the middle innings and then opens it back up for a chance at rallies late. So it's something to watch. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure what the thought is with some of the postseason scheduling. The A's, I think, played a home game against the White Sox that started at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So the A's were, it's weird to have MLB scheduling games on the West Coast for 10 a.m. Pacific time. What did I munch on, Kyle? I had almonds first. Almonds were the safe. Almonds were the kind of got me through the middle innings, and then I was struggling a little bit. So I literally ate croutons. I got a bag of croutons, and I was eating croutons out of the bag. Not my healthiest decision ever, but it worked. But yeah, so around the league, the Marlins beat the Cubs today. I live up in Chicago. I didn't watch any of that game, but outside my apartment, it was windy as hell. So I can't even imagine what it was like up in Wrigley. I will take a Cubs loss any day of the week. Sandy Alcantara, another old friend, got the win, I think, for the Marlins. Surprising that he's the game one starter. But, I mean, he's had a good year. He had a good year last year. Cardinals fan 022. I was shocked to see them put up a 4 spot in the first. Yeah, I think we all were. And then once they put up the 4 spot, I kind of thought it might be done. And then not only that, after the first inning, they were able to limit the Padres in the bottom of the first to 1 run. That was big. They added on to it in the third. They got another run in the ninth. It was good to see for once them kind of grind out and string together some hits. I think, one of the things I've been kind of pointing to about the offense all year is that they get on base. They just are kind of unusually bad at getting the guys on base in. Maybe they can snap out of that for a couple of weeks and make the offense look good. It looked good today. I know Paddock's had a down year, but he's had a down year in the same sense like Jack Flaherty's had a down year. So with Flaherty, his ERA is pretty high, but if you look at his xFIP, which is normalizes for home runs, basically assumes pitchers are only responsible for strikeouts and walks. Flaherty's pitching the same as he always has. He's just run into some bad home run luck. Chris Paddock is honestly the same way. He had a 4.73 ERA this year, but his xFIP was only 3.77, which was pretty close to where his ERA was last year. So he's not a bum. He went out there. I mean, he's the Padres' number 3 starter right now, behind Lamet and Clevenger, but he's not. Last year, he was their number 1. And so it's not like the Cardinals beat up on a bad pitcher. Guy having a down year, sure. But he's still got stuff. We saw him coming in 96, 97 consistently. He has decent, is that a changeup? Let me see. I think it's a changeup. Yeah. He has a pretty good changeup. And it was good to see them jump out on that and then, kind of keep it going a little bit throughout. They're going to see Zach Davies tomorrow. Zach Davies, they got him from the Brewers. He, if I remember right, is a soft tossing righty that throws a bunch of junk. 2.73 ERA this year. We know the Cardinals struggle with that a little bit. Cardinals, they actually swung at fastballs down the middle for once. Yeah, I mean, Paddock gave up 4 runs in the first, and I think he threw 16 pitches. That's crazy. They averaged, it was 2 pitches a guy. They came out swinging. That's something they didn't do all year. They were one of the one of the least aggressive teams in Major League Baseball when it came to swing rate. And it was on the first pitch. It was on fastballs. It was on everything. They have a lot, and part of that's probably by design. A guy like Matt Carpenter just doesn't swing a lot. I think Dexter Fowler is the same way, but it was good. For a guy against a guy that's been down to come out, jump on him, knock him around a little bit, shake the confidence some, and then take advantage. It was good to see, obviously, that they were able to take advantage. I don't know what the game plan is going to be against Zach Davies. He is actually striking out guys for the first time in his career this year, so that's an interesting thing to watch. Career high strikeout rate this year. Walk rate was kind of in line with where he's always been. I don't know what he's done against the Cardinals in the past. I remember he was on Milwaukee. He probably throws 87 miles an hour. At least that's what it seemed like. Yep, 87, 88. So, kind of the same thing as we always complain about with the lefties, where we struggled at the soft tosses. We're going to see that tomorrow. I think maybe, with Bader, I'm guessing Bader gets a day off. Maybe this is a guy that Brad Miller can take advantage of. He is struggling down the stretch as well, but playing so many games in so many days, we don't know how much fatigue is a factor in that. I think it's tough to get worse than 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. So, but it does take away from the defense if you have to put Carpenter at third to get Miller's bat in the lineup. So maybe they go with O'Neill. We'll see what happens. But Davies is going to be tough. I think he probably led their behind. Obviously, he's behind Clevenger and Lamet. But 2.73 ERA. He was good last year. 3.55 ERA. He's been consistent in that area for his whole career, so he's going to be tough to beat. Obviously, probably don't see Davies, honestly, if Clevenger and Lamet weren't injured. A little unfortunate for Padres fans. Great break for the Cardinals. But Lamet had a breakout year after kind of showing stuff forever. Clevenger, their big midseason acquisition from the Indians. You don't make that trade thinking that in Clevenger's last start of the year he's going to hurt something in his arm and not be able to go for the postseason. The Padres made that trade for Clevenger to be their game one starter in the playoffs, and so it sucks for them that he went down. I think as a baseball fan, you want to see both teams at their best. As a Cardinals fan, wanting the Cardinals to win, I'll take what we can get. But we'll see. One game down. Cardinals have lost 2 in a row plenty of times before. This series is obviously far from over. It's nice to have the leg up. We'll see if Wainwright I think Wainwright's been searching for – I forget what he did in the playoffs last year, but it seems like Wainwright's been searching for those signature playoff moments throughout kind of this back – throughout his career, maybe since he has a big one from when he was a reliever, but I don't remember too many like big Wainwright starts. I don't know that we'll remember the one tomorrow, but hopefully it gives him a chance to clinch a postseason series. And worst case scenario, we turn the ball over to Jack for Game 3. So takes the pressure off a little bit. Obviously, Padres back up against the wall. They'll come out fighting. We'll see how it goes. I think the Cardinals got away with something. Padres hit the ball hard. They hit it at people. Made a couple base running mistakes. Cardinals obviously took advantage of the opportunities. They did what you need to do to win a game. But definitely, I think from my perspective, Padres did a lot of the things we expected them to do that normally won them games. So we'll see what happens in Game 2. But for the next 20 hours or so, we are up 1-0 in the series. We have nothing to worry about. We can all breathe a little easier and look forward to seeing Wainwright go out at least one more time with Yadier Molina. And that is definitely something. I don't know what their plans are next year. I don't know what the contract situations are. Off the top of my head, I feel like they're both upcoming free agents, but that's something that as many more times as we can see that, take it and enjoy it. So I think with that, I'll turn it over. Appreciate all you guys coming in to join us. We'll be trying to do these for as long as the Cardinals are in the postseason, between me, Tara, maybe Kyle, maybe some others. I don't know. We'll be trying to do these. I think Tara did a pregame show today. Maybe we'll do something like that tomorrow. But as long as we have it, as long as the Cardinals are playing, we'll be out here to talk about the game. So appreciate everyone's time. Cardinals celebrate the Cardinals win tonight, 7-4, 1-0 series lead against the Padres. And I am going to go watch the NBA Finals and root against LeBron for the Miami Heat. Thanks, guys.